Welcome everyone to Aaron Shack Politics. Today we've got quite a big story for you. How Trump's nomination of Matt Gaetz has unraveled in just 8 days. Matt Gaetz, of course, facing several accusals of underage sex with women. This would also be sex trafficking charges, and of course statutory rape, allegedly, because one of the women is under 17. And that's right, I did say one of the women, but we'll get to that immediately here. So if you're enjoying the content on the channel, the news reporting, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos here. All right, so how did this happen? Well, let's look to The Guardian here. They have a report in a Washington farce for the ages. The far-right Republican is withdrawn from consideration for U.S. Attorney General. How did it happen? Donald Trump obviously nominated Matt Gaetz despite all these allegations and this investigation that has been underway, which they are saying the report has been quite damning. Of course, Gaetz recently resigned from said position in the Senate so that he could essentially activate some sort of precedent measure here, which would allow the report to just stop dead in its tracks and stop all investigation. It's kind of like when you're playing the video game Grand Theft Auto and you got a 5-star wanted level and you're wanted by the police and the National Guard and they're chasing you everywhere. But then as long as you pull into your apartment or you pull into a paint spray and change the color of your car, magically all the police just disappear and you're a good law-abiding citizen again. So Gaetz is 42 years old, of course, and October 2023 made history, bringing down House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who was ejected by his own party. Of course, people, both left and right side, both hate Matt Gaetz in the same way that everyone kind of hates Ted Cruz. He's just not a likable person and not someone that people enjoy being around. So, of course, he moved against McCarthy to install a speaker more amenable to right-wing threats to shut down the federal government over arguments about funding and less likely to seek Democrats' help in avoiding such outcomes. That's, of course, how we got to Johnson. So, now, Gaetz has moved against McCarthy, he insists, to block the release of the House Ethics Committee report into allegations of sexual misconduct, illicit drug use, and other offenses, which I think we would arguably have to say that because he paid money for sex, $10,000, that this would be prostitution as well. So that's where we start getting into things like sex trafficking. So Gaetz vehemently denied and still denies wrongdoing, but nonetheless, when Trump nominated him for Attorney General, he promptly resigned his seat in the House. According to the president, that blocks release of his ethics report, which is just insane to me. Once again, the Grand Theft Auto example just speaks volumes here. So Republicans are eager to find out what it contained, and of course, Democrats want to know as well. Quite sensational. There's some additional stuff, but let's just stick to this. It says that congressmen may have engaged in sexual misconduct and or illicit drug use, shared inappropriate images or videos on the House floor, misused state identification records, converted campaign funds to personal use, and or accepted a bribe, improper gratuity, or impermissible gift. So all of those things on their own, each one of those things are illegal and do come with, serious time in jail. So obviously there's multiple reasons why Gaetz was nominated. I mean, Gaetz has been a huge fan of Trump. He wanted to make sure that anyone that was convicted, Trump supporters that were convicted during the January 6th insurrection on Congress, he wants to seek revenge against Trump's political opponents And also, he has a complete lack of legal experience and expertise, which we talked about in my video where we went into Trump's nominees and we talked about their qualifications and how insane they are. He just graduated from law school and practiced only briefly before entering politics. I wouldn't say that would allow you to be the attorney general, the biggest lawyer in all of the land, the most important, right? So the Ethics Committee report is still the holy grail, as The Guardian says here. ABC News was first to report that the committee had obtained records showing Gaetz paid more than $10,000 to two women who testified before the panel, with some of the payments being for sex. So automatically, that's already allegedly prostitution there. So that's already illegal. That's already a thing. A lawyer for the two women spoke to the media, saying one had been 17 under the age of consent when she was paid for sex with Gaetz. Now, once again, this is where statutory rape charges come into play, okay? It doesn't matter if it was okay with her. It doesn't matter if he asked that was okay. The fact that she was underage, and we have laws about this in the United States, make this wrong. So it's not about consenting adults in that particular sense. Trump camp repeatedly pointed to the Justice Department's decision to drop its investigation of allegations against Gaetz, which I'll leave you the link to this article so you can add that context in. But it's not super important to what we're discussing today, without official reason, but amid reports of concerns about witness credibility. So once again, on Wednesday, the House committee considered whether to release the report. The session ended in deadlock, of course. 5 Democrats for release and 5 Republicans against it. So it's interesting that the party of like family values and, claims to be all about Christianity and especially evangelical Christians seems to be against revealing the truth about the sexual misconduct of a senator. So very interesting that all those moral values go out the window when it's about preserving the legacy of one of your Republican senators and, not stirring up any additional drama here. In the House at large, Democrats introduced motions calling for a full vote to force the issue. Controversy switched to the Senate as Democrats said they had asked the FBI for its files on Gaetz. The congressman himself climbed Capitol Hill in the company of J.D. Vance to meet Vice President-elect's erstwhile Senate colleagues, seek and convince them that Gaetz should be confirmed. So he tried to push through the confirmation, but now we're going to read about how it actually falls apart. Like what conversations had to take place on Capitol Hill, and what sort of information had to come out in order for Gaetz to consider his resignation. It did not go well. Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine, relative Republican moderates already used to saying no to Trump, at least some of the time, were not supported. Gaetz found sympathy from others. Lindsey Graham, of course, the flip-flopper of South Carolina, a close Trump ally, said he would urge all of my Senate colleagues, particularly Republicans, not to join the lynch mob and give a process a chance to move forward. But plenty of other Republicans cast doubt. Yep, they might. They cast doubt on Gaetz's chances of being confirmed. John Cornyn of Texas, another Trump crony, John Crony of Texas, a member of the Judiciary Committee, said any hearings for Gaetz would be like Kavanaugh on steroids. So once again, he's trying to make equivalence that some of these charges might be false. But I don't know. It seems like this report's pretty damning if everybody wants to stop it coming through. So I don't know. Cornyn's cover-up is not exactly the best way to pull this situation. So a reference to the tempestuous hearings in 2018 in which Brett Kavanaugh, Trump's second pick for Supreme Court, angrily rejected accusations of sexual assault. In Kavanaugh's case, the Capitol Hill circus proved controversial but survivable, which is insane. Gaetz would not be given a chance to pull off a similar escape. On Thursday on social media, he said there is no time to waste on a needlessly protracted Washington scuffle. Thus, I'll be withdrawing my name from consideration to serve as Attorney General. CNN subsequently reported that the woman who says she had sex with him when she was a minor, told the ethics committee she had another sexual encounter with Gaetz. So that's 2 encounters, which also involved another adult woman. So this is where the story's blowing up. After being asked for comment on this story, CNN reports said Gaetz announced he was backing out as President-elect Donald Trump's Attorney General nominee. So once again, he was like, "Oh no, that's too much information. I'm backing out. Leave me alone. Don't bring any of this forward. Like, let's just call it even." That's not how the justice system works. That's not how politics should work. All of this should come to light. Voters should be informed. This guy should never be in politics. He never should have been in politics, arguably. But I think with these type of allegations and charges, and of course you're also coming forward with a report which is probably going to prove this stuff, I would love to see this guy in court, in the sense of him being prosecuted. So yeah. A source familiar with Gaetz' nomination process told The Guardian that privately confirmed opposition from 4 senators, enough to sink the nomination if no Democrats defected, which, I mean, Democrats voting for Gaetz would just be insanity. Enough to sink the nomination. So what pushed Gaetz to decide to withdraw before the call from CNN? Murkowski and Collins were opposed, so was John Curtis, the senator-elect from Utah who will succeed Mitt Romney, another Trump critic in the new year. The 4th voice set against Gaetz was an influential one, Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, the former Republican leader now beginning life back in the rank and file. In his announcements, Gaetz proclaimed his support for the most successful president in history, and he said he would forever be honored that Trump nominated him for Attorney General. Elsewhere in Washington, it seems safe to bet politicians and reporters alike were reflecting on an extraordinary episode of near unsurpassable Washington dishonor. So the most recent thing is that the ethics committee were told of a second sexual encounter between Gaetz and the 17-year-old report. I think that this also stacks, by the way, so it's like multiple encounters. The woman who says she had sex when she was 17-year-old with Representative Matt Gaetz told the House Ethics Committee that she had 2 sexual encounters with him at one party in 2017. I'm sorry, I've been referring to him as Senator Gaetz. There was an article earlier that him pulling out about of being a Florida congressman would allow him to actually like run for Marco Rubio's empty Senate seat. So we'll have to see if that happens. I don't know why I'm already calling him Senator Gaetz, but it may be some sort of premonition on my part. But anyway, back to the fun here. So yeah, 2 sexual encounters with him at one party in 2017. CNN report cites unnamed sources who claim that the second sexual encounter not previously been reported included another adult woman. The network also states that after being asked for comment regarding the new allegations, the former representative announced that he was withdrawing from the Attorney General nomination. Gaetz has repeatedly denied all the allegations against him. The other woman in the alleged second sexual encounter, who was an adult at the time, has also denied taking part in the encounter, according to multiple sources familiar with their ethics testimony, CNN reported. Now, there's multiple reasons why she might do this. She might not want to be stirred up in this. She might not want to be in court and, in front of, Senate or House hearings and committees, having to speak and have her reputation on the line and being called a liar and all sorts of things. So, I don't know. It could be denial, or it could just be that is fictitious, but I severely doubt it in this case. I think seeing Gaetz withdraw really means like, hey, this is bad. It's getting worse. I don't want to be a party to this. So. That's where we are on that. Also, there is this other thing that the Guardian's mentioning. One theory is that Gaetz was a sacrificial lamb, a decoy that will ease the path of similarly outlandish sanctions, such as Russian sympathizer Tulsi Gabbard as director of national intelligence. Former Fox News host Pete Hegseth, also accused of sexual assault, in which he paid off the woman who accused him of sexual assault, which doesn't make you not guilty, okay? Just because you settled and paid someone off doesn't mean you're not guilty. It actually would mean the reverse. As Defense Secretary and anti-vaccine activist Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as Health Secretary. So some people are saying it's a 3D chess move. I think it'd be a 4D chess move is the common saying here. Trump does not play the sort of three-dimensional chess people ascribe to decisions like this. More often than not, he's just eating the pieces. I think that's hilarious because that kind of makes Trump seem like he's a kid that's eating the chess pieces because he thinks it's food or toys or something. So, yeah, it's not. I doubt it's a 4D chess move to like ease other nominations, or that Trump now has like a worse person in mind than Gaetz. I mean, I have no doubt that he'll find someone like equally or more unqualified for the position. That's usually how it goes. I mean, he could just be like, oh, Rudy Giuliani, just like pull someone, one of his cronies, or just like horrible people with little to no experience. I guess we'll just have to see how that goes. So once again, I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoy our coverage here at Aaron Shack Politics. Definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Take care, be safe, and we'll see you on the next one.